What's up, guys? Welcome to the DoItMovement podcast. This is your host, Martine Jackson, and I've built my 6-figure, soon-to-be 7-figure, massive real estate business through commercial investing, rental investing, and wholesaling in Virginia. After college, I worked a series of jobs that I absolutely hated and decided to take life into my own hands. What my journey has shown me is one very important thing. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Each week, I bring you a powerful guest or tip to unravel the real estate game, and my challenge to you is that you take some of that knowledge and do something with it. The Do It Movement is here to help you create the life you desire through real estate. Now let's get to it. Hello today, Do It Movement listeners. This is your host, Martine Jackson. Today we have all the way from Chicago, Rashauna Scott. How you doing today, girl?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
I am well. You're like the wealth guru. So I'm very happy to have you on, and I know you're going to have all sorts of nuggets and gems to give to the people today. So for the folks that may not know who you are or, may just be interested in your story, what made you decide to get into real estate?
So I am Rashauna Scott, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. What made me decide to get into real estate was the fact that I knew that I wanted to be successful at a young age. I knew I wanted to be successful. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, as most of us do. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. So real estate is going to be the way. It was literally just like that. I think I might have been, I was somewhere between 17 and 19 when I read that book. But again, I had already knew that I wanted to be successful, or that I was going to go on this wealth building journey. But yeah, the book definitely helped me solidify which avenue that I was going to take.
Right. It seems like most people, they've either read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or they read Think and Grow Rich. Those are like the two books that open people's eyes, like, oh, it's a whole nother world over here.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, this is what the wealthy are doing and have been doing for years. And it's like, all right.
All right. So that's cool. That's awesome. So your queen raised private money. And it seems like a lot of people, when they get into this business, they're like, well, I want to do so much, but if only I had the money. So I know that, you've perfected this. You do an awesome job with raising the money for your projects. So I guess let's just talk about it a little bit. When did you realize that you needed to start raising some money so you can get more stuff done? Let's start with that.
Girl, what I had right at the beginning. But, I'll take you back a couple of years. So my very first investment into a project was in 2015. Someone allowed me the opportunity to invest in one of their deals. And then fast forward, a couple years later, I realized that this is a way to invest in real estate. Well, I realized it then, but then I said, okay, this is how I can incorporate it into my business, right? So having projects and allowing people the opportunity to invest, they're just as much as excited as I am, if not more. And it's really about the involvement, right? Allowing people the opportunity to be involved in your deals, to learn from you, to ask questions, to see the ins and outs, like of a rehab project, and things like that. So being able to do that, and then also understand the number one wealth principle, which is other people's money. So when you use that, obviously you're able to leverage, right? You're able to do more deals. You're able to make more connections. You're able to go under contract and move a lot quicker. So, I realized that I'll jump, but it was the how, right? It was the how that you that one had to figure out. How do I raise private money? Because I remember even in a part of my training, like I invested into a guru program years ago, spent thousands of dollars. And a part of, I remember there was specifically like a course about raising private capital. And it was like, these white guys from the West Coast and, they were raising millions. And I'm like, yo, who's going to give me some money? Who's going to give me millions? I'm a young Black girl and, 22, 23, 24, like who, like not having that confidence piece. Right. But when I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, this is not as difficult as a lot of people would think.
Right. So you started by you giving some of your money or investing some of your money into someone's project, and that that person allowed you to see what they were doing in the project.
And they didn't have a choice, girl. I was showing up all the time, every day.
Oh, you was the nigga that always popped up.
I was one of them, yeah. But she knew.
I'm at the house today. I don't see no contractors on the job.
Well, no, it was more so, hey, are you going by? I would love to stop by and meet you there, And then as we're there, I'm showing up and I'm asking questions and that whole thing. I was not one of those annoying lenders that are like, well, let me get my money,
Right. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So did you like take a concept that was similar to that one for the people that were interested in finding out more, that you would allow them the opportunity?
Absolutely. I mirrored the same exact thing. And the presentation, girl, the contract, everything.
And I really like how you are, the mindset that you have with this. So a lot of people, they think, oh, well, I need money to get my deal done. But no, you're allowing somebody the opportunity to invest with you. Like, they wouldn't be getting these returns if they weren't investing with you. Who are they going to go to?
That's what I'm saying. So you rather invest with a trusted resource and a tangible asset, and something that can be controlled.
Right. So for the people that are, they're interested in raising some money, they're just starting out, what are some things they can do to show people that, hey, you should invest with me?
So, first of all, raising private money, I don't take it lightly. You are, you have to be a good steward of, finances, make good decisions, good choices. You are responsible for what happens, whether good or bad. Right. So I don't necessarily recommend it to newbies, but for people who have some experience with real estate, maybe you own one property or two, or maybe you flipped the house already. For some people who have a little bit of experience, those are the people that I think will have an easier time raising money, because they have something to show for what they've already done. Right. They can also leverage that. So let's say you own rental properties. Well, you should definitely have events at your properties. You should, have people show up, talk to them about the investing process, what it looks like to invest with you. I always talk about, when I do my raising private money presentation, I talk about the frequently asked questions. You need to have those questions ready to go. So like, what's the minimum to invest with you? What's the percentage of a return? What's the worst that can happen? How am I secured? Right. So those are some of the main questions that people will ask. And someone who has some real estate experience should be able to answer that,
right,
with no problem. But again, you're able to leverage, what you've done, your previous success, in order to show people, this is who I am, this is what I've done. Now, on top of that, let's say you're an individual who maybe you haven't done your first deal yet, but you've done a ton of research, right? You've listened to every podcast, you watched every YouTube video, you are ready, and maybe you have like some great relationships, some great connections. Let's say maybe it's with like a contractor or someone that that you can partner with, that where your deal will go great. Let's say that's the case. What I tell people to do then is leverage other people's success. So let's say you are going to partner with a contractor, or you are going to partner with, someone who has a good credit score or 401k or whatever type of track record you can use, whether it's yours or someone else's, leverage it. Because you will need it. It's going to be very hard to raise private money if you don't have anything at all to show.
Right. So you're saying that for the people that, they don't really have the experience yet, but, they got the encyclopedia in their head.
Right.
Because they don't research everything.
Right. It can be done.
Listening. So you're saying that maybe they should partner with someone that has that experience so they can show.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm working with someone that, they've done this, they got that track record that they're showing that, they're able to fulfill what they said they're going to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we can even talk about partnerships. I think that's a whole nother podcast, but I'm big on pushing that, right? Pushing partnerships and group economics and things like that, because two heads are better than one. There's something that I can bring to the table that you don't have and vice versa. So I'm big on pushing and promoting that, because again, if you don't have the success, you can leverage someone else's, but you also got to be careful about who you go into business with and who you partner with also. But yes, leverage the success of others if you are just starting out.
Right. So if let's say you want to work with someone.
And one more thing, and make sure you have something to bring to the table.
Right. Don't come
so many people want to show up and start partnering and going into business, and you haven't even picked up a book. Like, if you don't have any money, you don't have any credit, you don't have any retirement account, you don't have anything, and you are looking to get started, you better, if you ain't got no money, you better be listening to everything, anything that's out there as far as educational resources, for you to learn and educate yourself and grow. That's what you need to be doing. That's how you need to be investing your time.
Right. Because why would the person even want to work with you if you don't bring any value to the table? You're just like, oh, I want to watch.
Right.
Okay. Me.
Right.
But for someone that, they want to partner with someone, and not to dwell on this point so much, but what are some things that they should be looking for to make sure that they may be a person that they can actually work well with?
So it's really not even a matter. I mean, it's definitely what should you look for, but it's really what are the conversations that you should be having. Right. And so the conversations would be, what are you good at, versus what am I good at? What are, as far as like the expectations, and, what are we expecting each other to do out of this partnership? What happens when you don't do your job? What happens if I don't do my job? What happens when we lose money? What happens if one of us passes away? What happens, like these, going all the way down to even to the bank account, right? Are we going to create an entity together and be in business together, and everything is transparent down the middle together, or do you have your entity and I have my entity and we're just going to partner and do a joint venture agreement? What outline these? Well, first of all, even before you sit down and do any type of agreement, again, these conversations need to be had. Right. So just having those conversations with people before you even sit down is this a good fit? Because right away people say, oh, we're going to go into business together. And then they go right into business without having any conversation as to, what's your roles and responsibilities and what are mine, and making sure, that we both work together to make sure that we do what we need to do, because that's the only way this train is going to run.
Right. I often hear a lot of people say that You need to date somebody before you get married.
No, yes. Yes,
So these
ma'am.
conversations are,
Yes.
what you
Yeah, my
before.
yeah, my business partner and I, we had a conversation for 6 months before signing any paperwork. We sat down, I want to say probably like 2 or 3 times.
Right. So what would you recommend for people that they have some experience, they're interested in raising more private capital? What are some things that they can do, or what direction do they need to be going so that they can raise more money?
So they need to be talking to people. Definitely. They need to be talking to more people. They need to be talking to prospects. A lot of the private money that you're going to raise initially in the beginning is going to come from people around you. And, oftentimes in business, we say don't expect for people close to you to support you, but everybody want to make money. Right. So, it's a matter of you presenting it in a way to where they see it's an opportunity for them, because it is. Right. It really is an opportunity for other people, and you just have to present it as such. Present your opportunity as an opportunity, because it is. If you remember, the very first thing I said was that someone allowed me the opportunity to invest into their deal. And I say that because I can go and get 100% financing from the bank, or, a big lender, a hard money lender, a big company, or whatever. I can go and get all the financing I need, gap funding, whatever I need. I can go and obtain that. But I got to pay out interest on that. So if there's an opportunity for me to bring in a private lender, then why not pay that interest to my community? We all know somebody who want to get started in real estate. And so those are the individuals who will be open to partner with you, because you know more than they do. Again, even if you don't have any experience, or maybe you do have a little bit of experience, but let's say you're not out here, you're not a guru, and neither am I. But I know that I know more than the last person or the next person or the person that's just getting started, right? I know that I know more than them. I have more experience than them. I've done more research than them. I put in more hours than them. Right. So I'm confident that I can have an intelligent conversation with someone and say, hey, if you want to invest in real estate, you should consider investing in my deal, because this is what I have going on. This is who I am. These are my connections, my contacts, my partners. This is our track record. This is how we are going to be successful. This is how this deal is going to work. And this is how you can make money. You think people wouldn't listen up, right? So I think, having 10 or 15 or $20,000, like, there's more people around you who have that than you think. It's just also a matter of being creative enough and like kind of basically like pointing it out to them that it's available. Like, so many people don't even know the different ways in which you can invest in real estate. Like, everybody thinks you gotta have cash. Yes, cash is king, but do you have credit? Because if you got credit, we can go ahead and get you can apply for some business credit. You can add 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. Right. You can go ahead and invest in one of my projects, right? Right. A lot of people don't know that you can invest in real estate using a self-directed IRA, a true self-directed IRA, right? Where you take a traditional IRA or Roth IRA or do a 401k and you do a rollover. And when you start to educate people on the different ways, they might think they need to have $20,000 in the bank when in fact they got it in their 401k, but they didn't know that that was an option. So to answer your question, what people need to be doing, having more conversations. You need to be educating yourself. You need to get your contracts in order. You need to have all of your questions ready to go. Because here's what I do. When people come to me and they want to invest and I don't have a deal right now, I just put their information to the side. I do have a list. I have their name, their contact information, the amount that they would like to invest. And I have just some notes like about the conversation that we had. And so literally when I'm ready, when I have a deal, because I can have a deal tomorrow. You know how it works, in real estate. Like, I can get a text tomorrow and it looks great. And I'm like, hey, this is a great deal. Let's lock it down. I can have a deal tomorrow. So having that person's contact information, I can go right to this person and say, hey, so-and-so, I know you said you want to invest $30,000. Well, I got a deal now. Are you in or you out?
Right. So what would be your suggestion for people? Should they be looking for the deal first or the money first?
Should they look for the money first or look for the deal first? Look for the money. Yeah, look for the money, because when you have the right deal, the money is easy.
Yeah. I think that's some really good advice, because you just have the people right there ready to go, ready to pull the trigger when you got it.
Yeah, they already ready, and it's not as difficult as people think. But like I said, a deal can come tomorrow, but an investor might not come tomorrow. Investors that's gonna be the most difficult thing in the beginning, is building that up along with like that credibility. That's gonna be the most difficult thing there. So yes, definitely look for the money, because the deal will come, and a good deal will find the money for you.
Right. That's true. That is true. So far we have that first you need some experience. So you need to leverage some experience. Then you need to start these conversations and building that credibility. Is there any other advice that you would give people that are trying to raise some money for their projects?
That's a good place to start. So like you said, building up that credibility, having those conversations, having your contracts in place, having your frequently asked questions ready to go. Because, after I have conversations with people, they're like, okay, so, what do I need to do to get started? Wasn't it? I'm like, well, if you're ready, I'll just send you the contract. Like, it is not difficult at all.
Right.
And I do want people to understand, though, I'm not doing a big raise, right? When you go out and you are just raising money, you need to syndicate, essentially. You need to syndicate, which is basically legally being authorized through government regulation that allows you to raise like a pool of funds. I don't raise money like that, not currently. What I do is I get private lenders per deal, per opportunity. So here's a deal. These are the numbers. This is the opportunity. Do you want to, land on this deal? And you really want to be careful too throughout the language and the conversation that you use. In my contract, it is a lender borrower agreement. It doesn't say anything about investor or the word investing, because when you get into that word and using that verbiage, again, now you kind of blur the lines with SEC regulations, and ain't nobody trying to get in no trouble. I know so many people who have gotten shut down, who started investment groups and things like that, and all of that is fine and dandy, but ain't nobody trying to get
right.
Right.
I hear you. And it seems like a great way to build your credibility is, with the projects that you're doing, educating these people on how they can invest, because a lot of people don't know about this information. And if you show them that, hey, you can invest using this vehicle, like you can get a line of credit or something, and you can invest using this vehicle, then you're educating them and showing them, yes, you can invest with me, whereas they probably thought that they couldn't. So that's some good points that you brought up there. So what are some resources or some books that you've written? And I think you also have a resource for a women's group, because you're a big women in real estate advocate. Let's talk about that.
I am. So Flipping in Heels is my baby. I created Flipping in Heels to encourage and educate other women looking to invest in this space, and also to just create a community, because it was non-existent when I looked for it. Even with the thousands of dollars that I spent on my guru program, it was not with a woman. It was not with a Black woman. I was in an industry with a lot of people who didn't look like me, and a lot of people that I couldn't relate to. I mean, even online, right, with all of these house flipping shows and things like that, you see the wife, the husband, the kids, and they have a partnership and they're flipping properties together, and it was like, okay, well, who can I look up to? Who can I get my inspiration from? Who is she? Where is she? You know, what does she look like? And I didn't see her. And so I sought to create what that image would look like. And that image is all of these amazing women who I've discovered on this journey. So finding out about like the Aisha Seldins, you know, who own 40 something rental properties free and clear, or like the Asia Densons, who's general contractor in Detroit, you know, or just so many amazing women from across the country, literally. So finding them, highlighting them, promoting them. From there, Infinity membership was born. So you can sign up for the annual membership. We meet twice a month and we go over all things real estate investing. So the word infinity came from something ongoing, right? As far as even learning, I am not, I've wasted so much money on online programs. I'm not the beginning, middle, and end type of learner. I'm the type of person that I start a class, I buy a class, and I'm like, oh, shoot, something happened. You know, here I am 2 weeks into it, and I got to go back, you know? And so for me, I wanted to create something, again, that would be an ongoing conversation, because as we're in this business, things change. Life changes, you know, business happens, deals happen. And, you know, having a support ongoing where you can run things by, ask questions, and all of that good stuff. So yes, Infinity membership was created as a women's only support group, pretty much. But we educate inside of there. I bring in guest speakers, and you know, we go through the whole shebang: wholesaling, flipping, investing, working with contractors, going over contracts, similar to Profits and Impact Weekend, which my very good friends Christina Spells and I, and Crystal Polite, we created a women investing weekend, right? Where we rent a mansion and we just deep dive for a whole weekend on different aspects of investing in real estate. And again, it's really just, the whole point is to really push this support for women in this male dominated industry, you know. And it's so funny because, you know, men, they be the first ones to be like, why y'all ain't doing nothing for the men? Like, yo, y'all been cashing these checks for a long time. It's not my fault if you wasn't a part of that. Your genre has been doing this for a while. So, you know, again, just to create that safe space. So yeah, so Flipping the Hills, Infinity membership, Profits and Impact Weekend. You asked about a book. So a lot of people are familiar with Rich Dad Poor Dad, what I mentioned earlier. Retire Young, Retire Rich is absolutely my favorite book.
I'm actually reading it right now.
It's my favorite book by Robert Kiyosaki. And, you know, the Rich Dad Poor Dad is cool. But Retire Young, Retire Rich is the game. I was like I'm ready to read it again, and I don't think I've ever read a book twice.
I put the $1 million question in my bedroom. How to help as many people as I can doing the same thing I'm doing right now with less effort.
That part. Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Robert Kiyosaki series of books just shift my mindset completely. Like I've read probably Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, Financial IQ,
Cash Flow Quadrant,
and it's like his books aren't boring. Like it's just like it's real interesting, and you're like, oh man, I never thought of it that way. So. Yeah, that's what I'm glad that you mentioned that book, and it's crazy that I'm actually reading it right this second.
Let me know when you finish what you think.
Okay, so far so good. Robert has he's yet to let me down.
I see you got the whole setup in the background too. All purple and black.
Yeah, I think that one is by my bed though. My boyfriend is reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he doesn't even like to read, and he's really enjoying that book.
Good. Good.
Okay, so is there any advice that you want to give the people, or I think you already mentioned if people were interested in Infinity membership, how they would get more information of like that. So any of those things?
Just for people who are looking to invest in real estate, I encourage people to figure out exactly what you want to do. I think too often we want to invest and we're so vague about investing. When there's so many different specific niches inside of investing in real estate. Investing in real estate is this huge, fuzzy thing that we can get caught up in. But, I think you should get specific. Do you want to wholesale? Do you want to flip? Do you want to hold? Do you want to be a private investor? Do you want to raise private money? Do you want to buy properties at auction, foreclosure, tax sales, short sales? What is it that you want to do? So I ask people that, what do you want to do? And then from there, once you figure out what you want to do, then you can deep dive into that. Because if you just Google real estate investing, like there's a gazillion, information that you will find, but you don't want that.
Right. Even if you're just an avid listener of the podcast and the people that come on the show, they have so many different niches in real estate. You need to pick which one you want to do. You can't just be all over the place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that is some great advice. So I really do appreciate you being on the podcast today. You really gave some valuable insight. Before we wrap this up, is there any last remarks that you'd like to give?
Well, thank you for having me. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Rashauna Scott, RASHAUNASCOTT. I give so much information. Sometimes I'm ranting. Sometimes I'm upset. Sometimes I'm like, yo, it's about to be 30 degrees outside. Make sure you get some low ball offers in, So follow me there. I have some events coming up, depending on where people are located. Everything that I do, I post it on Instagram. So that's where you can find me. You can also follow Flipping in Heels too. And if you are interested in joining the women's group, well, come on.
All right. Sounds good. So this episode, you gave some good information, but all our resources for the women. So men, you got plenty of resources anyway. So thanks for adding.
The men can go and grab them books.
You can go grab those books and join your man's group. So, but thanks for being on. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, Do It Movement listeners. See ya. Thanks, guys, for checking out the Do It Movement podcast this week. I hope we inspired you to make some power moves now. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us for more info on our guests and new episodes at DoItMovement Pod on Instagram and at DoItMovementPod.com. Make sure as you apply some of this knowledge, you tag us along the way by adding #DoItMovement so that we can recognize the change makers. See you next week.